What's going on, all you wild good guy dolls? It's your two favorite horror slashers here for 31 Days of Horror. And tonight, we're going to be talking about the brand new series that just debuted on USA Network and SYFY, Chucky.
Chucky. Hey, I'm Chucky. Wanna play? Easy there, Chucky.
Yeah, so we've both been fans of the Chucky series for the most part. Child's Play, the original came out, filmed in Chicago. Really great and traumatic movie for me. Watching that as a young kid, in the late 80s, being a young kid and seeing dolls just reminded me of Chucky. So this character is always stuck in my head. I love Brad Dourif voicing the characters, something sinister and foul-mouthed about him. It's really intimidating at times. So, big fan for the most part of the franchise. And it's 6 sequels. And this time around, we get a TV series with Don Mancini returning, showrunner of this. And it definitely has a Mancini vibe to it for the most part.
Don Mancini, the creator of the series, is back for the TV show. And that's right. This has been a long-standing franchise. We've seen several newer movies come out recently. The last one, they tried to reboot it, make it more technology-wise, as far as him being a little robot doll. It didn't really work. There were some cool parts to it, but I don't think that they're going to move on from that new reboot. They're going to obviously go from here, from the TV series, and incorporate all the old characters from the movies. Fiona Dorff, Brad Dourif, the voice of Chucky's daughter, starring in that film. So we're going to see a lot of these characters. Jennifer Tilly, the Tiffany doll. So it'll be cool to see some returning characters in addition to Andy
Berkeley.
I think the actor's name is Alex, right?
Alex
Andy.
Vincent. Yeah, Alex Vincent.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right.
And I remember in the first movie, Alex's mom is played by Perry Reeves, who we saw in Entourage.
Yeah.
And our old good mate, Chris Sarandon from Fright Night, played I think he was the boyfriend and like a cop in the movie, in the very first one.
Yeah, he was.
It's been a while since I've watched the first one. I think the first one's the best one. And then I believe in the sequel, they went off to like military school and changed it up. And the third one, I can't really remember anything about. But the past two, minus the last reboot, were pretty solid and a return to the franchise in the beginning. And like you mentioned, Chucky brings me back to childhood, specifically with like talking dolls and stuff. I remember the Teddy Ruxpin doll where it had like a tape deck in the back. Yeah. So the doll would talk to you. So this always reminded me of that too. And as a kid, you can imagine your dolls coming to life. So this one was a scary one as a kid. So yeah, we continue on in the TV series here, and we pick up in this small town, and it starts out at this basically a yard sale where this kid's looking around and he sees the Chucky doll there at the yard sale, and he is interested in it, asks how much to buy it. And he gets it for $10, picks it up and takes it home. And we see that he has some wild artistic flair. He's making all these sculptures using old doll parts. So that's his plan with this Chucky doll. He's going to pop off the head and use the arms and stuff for these crazy looking sculptures that he's making at home.
And little does he know, it's Charles Lee Ray that's inside of the doll. The OG, the original's back, and this takes place in Hackensack, New Jersey, which is kind of funny. We have a client that works out at Hackensack, so I'm familiar with the area in Jersey, but this is the birthplace of Charles Lee Ray. Get a little bit of a glimpse from the first movie of who Charles Lee Ray was. Brad Dourif, obviously the original film in the 80s, learning about the serial killer that inhabits this doll, this good guy doll, Chucky. And that's when Chucky comes back into play, and he's thirsty for blood once again. With this character being Jake Wheeler, the young kid. I think he's supposed to be 14. He's played by Zachary Arthur. And his dad in this first episode is Devin Sawa, the heartthrob from the 90s. But he's like a complete opposite. He's like an old drunk mechanic or something. He's all pissed off at the world. He like beats the shit out of him, like abusive alcoholic dad that we've seen over and over again, which was a bit ridiculous. And not to mention they look nothing alike. So it's not really believable that this kid, Jake, and his dad are even related. Not even
They
close.
sort of play that off. They show a picture of the mom, and Devin Sawa looks at the picture and he's like, yeah, you obviously got your looks from her. So they try to play that off like,
Yeah,
he
but she
looks
was
more
like a
him.
redhead with blue eyes.
I know.
Dark hair with
Yeah.
dark eyes.
Yeah. It didn't. Yeah, the casting didn't match up as far as looks wise. That's for sure. Another thing about the series is the kid's playing a teenage gay kid in school, so he's also dealing with a bunch of the social fallout from that at school, being bullied for that, and for being this artist. He's making all these sculptures with the dolls. He's obviously got a flair for that. And his dad hates it. He, hates that his son's gay, doesn't want anything to do with him, wishes he'd do other things with his life, thinks he's wasting his time. And yeah, he really plays a scumbag. And actually, Devon Sawa plays multiple people in this. I think it's his twin brother in this too, who's sort of like the clean cut opposite of him.
Loaded.
Loaded, yeah. A lot of money. And there's a little funny dinner scene there where the two are talking. So I was pretty surprised by that. I was figured they'd get Devon Sawa, but I had no idea that he was going to play dual roles in this.
Me either. I thought he was pulling a double impact with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, right.
Remember that? They
Yep.
just like split the camera and duplicates.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty much. Yeah, I didn't know he was playing a twin in this either. I'm like, because I was watching. I'm like, wait a second, there's two Devon Sawas.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they're brothers, complete
Yep.
opposites. The drunk and then
Right.
the smart brother that did well with his life. That's pretty much the setup. We have Jake Wheeler dealing with everything that you said. Being bullied at school. He has a crush on this kid named Devin, which is like a true crime podcaster. He's always reading a book about it, and he's all like drooling over him and stuff like that. So dealing with a lot of that stuff in junior high, it's like, okay. Basically, yeah, with him having this doll, Chucky, weird things start happening. Obviously, as you can imagine, and all the blood will be spilled.
We get some classic Chucky here with the one-liners and just the overall creepiness. You'll be looking over at the doll, he won't move, and then you'll see an eye start twitching, start opening and moving. I have to say, it's kind of the way that they made Chucky look in this, like move and walk. It didn't look right to me. I don't know if that was just supposed to be because he wasn't like fully formed into his like evil version where he can move around well. But at first, when he was moving around, it kind of looked like they probably just had somebody's hand behind it moving him, or maybe some strings to make the doll run across the floor and stab. It didn't quite look right to me. It looked kind of low budget. Towards the end, like when he fully gets into evil Chucky mode, it looked a little better. So hopefully moving forward, that'll be worked out. Another thing I noticed right away is the acting's kind of, it seemed a little bit off to me. It wasn't that great. The kid kind of overacts in certain scenes. He's going too far in some of the performances with the interactions with Devon Sawa. It just seemed more over the top and kind of off-putting. And I noticed that right away. The acting didn't seem as good as it could be.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that. Even the teenagers, like the people that are going into junior high, even the parents weren't that convincing. Like they weren't, I don't know, maybe some of the writing of it, but just acting was not really good. But when it all comes down to, it's Chucky, Charles Lee Ray, Brad Dourif, when he becomes this evil Chucky and actually hearing the voice and him dropping the F-bomb and foul mouth character that we knew from the originals. I mean, that really shows. And like you said early on, the doll looked kind of weird the way it was walking. Then there was like CGI, it looked like, with practical, and then at the end it looked a lot better. But Brad Dourif steals the show all the time. There's a scene where it's like a talent show or whatever, and the kid goes up with the Chucky doll, and it's like a ventriloquist, and he just starts ripping at everybody in the crowd, pulling out the dirty laundry, like this girl's phone, and like it was the best part of the episode. I thought it was hilarious because it was all Brad Dourif as Chucky doing what we know he does best and being a dick.
Yeah, he's great at that. That was a good scene. Everybody, all the kids in the audience hooting and hollering, learning this girl's dirty laundry. Looks like the kid's using Chucky as a ventriloquist doll, but it's obviously Brad Dourif up there as Chucky full on. And by the end of the episode, he's full on the Chucky that we know. And it'll be interesting moving forward. I wasn't as impressed as I wanted to be by this premiere episode, but by the end, hopefully seeing where it's going to go from here and knowing that we're going to see some returning characters, which we didn't see in the pilot or this, premiere episode. We didn't see some of those characters that we mentioned earlier that are coming back. So I'm definitely going to keep on continuing the series, at least to see their introduction and to see if this improves from this premiere episode.
Yeah, the more I think about it, I think I enjoyed it a little more than you, but there's some problems with it, but I got faith in it because I know a lot of the characters are returning, so I'm really interested to see where their character arcs go. And not to mention, in this episode, the kid gets a phone call from a familiar person from the early movies that knows a lot about Charles Lee Ray and Chucky, and like knew where to track him down. And like, well, you know, telling him info about what he kind of went through without spoiling too much. But I'm excited to see that character return. It was cool to hear his voice in the first episode. But yeah, with that being said, I actually had a pretty decent time with it. Had some problems with the acting, but some of the kill scenes were really great. Some scenes with Chucky and obviously Brad Dourif returning to voice the character. I'm always on board with that. The pilot episode of Chucky that debuted on USA Network and SYFY, I'd give it a 3 out of 5 Chucky hair pieces.
It was cool to dive into some of Charles Lee Ray's backstory too. We got a couple scenes there where we saw him as a young boy. So we're probably going to learn more about the man behind the doll, Chucky himself, which is cool. And another reason I'm going to stick with this, even though I didn't really love the premiere episode of Chucky, but it's great to have Chucky on TV. It's kind of weird that it's on SYFY and USA, but nowadays, even on these network shows, you can use the F-bomb, you can cuss. So at least it's not like the olden days where you couldn't have any F-bombs or it wouldn't be R-rated or couldn't show the blood. This is pretty much full on Chucky that we're going to get. So that's a good aspect. There's going to be 10 episodes of the series. I will be tuning into the rest of them. And I can't wait to see these returning characters and dive in more of the mythology behind Chucky. And I love seeing Chucky on the screen again. I am going to give the premiere episode of Chucky a 2.5 out of 5 Brad Dourif Chucky pieces.
Friends till the end. Show has my interest. I want to see where these characters go. We'll check out the entire season. We might be back, review the entire season of Chucky. We'll see how it goes through the next few weeks, but that definitely has my interest. Also, this month we've been shooting lots of horror movie reviews and for TV and movies, I should say. Having a blast with this guy over here talking our favorite genre and getting spooky along the way. So if you guys haven't already, check us out right here on our YouTube channel. Click subscribe below. Also check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com.
Everybody's going to get wild here. We got a couple weeks left before All Hallows Eve. And actually tonight at midnight Pacific time, Halloween Kills drops.
Yep.
So me and this guy right here are very excited for that and very excited to review that and get it out to you guys and let us know on our thoughts on the return to Haddonfield for Uncle Michael. Looks like it's going to be a bloodbath and we can't wait. That is it here for us at Cinephellas Studios. We've had a blast. We got to watch Chucky, the new television series. It's going to run for 10 episodes. We'll be back to recap the events of the series and talk about that. And we look forward to more 31 days of horror to come. So until the next time, I'm Uncle Henry Hill, and that's my good mate over there,
Charles Lee Ray.
Oh my God, it's Charles Lee Ray. Oh. Cheese.